I really didn't think I was going to be impressed by a slow cooker. But after spending some time and slowing down, I really think it changes the way that my food comes out. I grew up as a vegetarian kid. I've mentioned that many times on this channel. And our kitchen was somewhere where food was created slowly over time, many days. My mom planned out a lot of what we ate throughout the entire week. And that was just normality for us. A lot different than a lot of modern kitchens today. Food was cooked in big pots, left to simmer, checked occasionally, just not rushed. Soups, stews, casseroles, even desserts were slowly cooked and slowly prepared and left in the oven at a low, slow temperature and allowed to develop amazing flavors. But life isn't quite like it was in the 70s. I will fully admit that. You know, we're using faster cookware. That was the evolution of nonstick because it's just quick and easy to use. It gets onto the stove really fast. You just use it. Sure, the quality is mediocre, but I don't have time to mess around. You know, in metal cookware, it's responsive, it's predictable, it's durable. It has its place in the kitchen. But it also changes how food behaves. It's aggressive and it cooks food really quickly. And over time, we've accepted this as normal cooking. Like, I'm pretty sure when I look back at the history of cooking, all food at one point in time was slowly cooked. Pretty much all metal cookware, when you cook at it, especially at higher heat, you get localized heat spots. That is just how metal cookware behaves. It cooks hot from the bottom, heat coming up, can scorch, even be burning at the bottom, while the top, you know, if you're not turning or paying attention, there can be variances in the way in which it's cooking, and you're getting pretty uneven heat, and it's pretty easy to overcook food. So I was sent this really beautiful clay slow cooker that I'm showing you here. This is by a company called Magnifique, Clay Magnifique. And they sent it to me being like, hey, here, just try this thing out. See if you like it. If you like it, great. If not, whatever. There is no expectation. I wasn't paid to do this video, but what they hit me right at the right time. I'd been wanting to pay more attention to the way that I was cooking my food at the quality, the finish, the duration of cooking. I wanted to create more flavors. I wanted to create something a little more hearty. I was also at the time looking for foods that I could make for my growing son who needed to have more nutrient-dense, protein-based foods that I could put into a thermos or whatever for him to eat throughout the day. You know, sandwich and some of the things I wasn't making wasn't cutting it. So I was at this point that I was looking for a solution, and these guys reached out, and it just happened to be great timing. So they sent me this amazing unit. I had kind of no expectations. I have, you know, been around slow cookers. I've sold slow cookers, lots and lots and lots of them, but I myself didn't have a ton of experience. I'm a massive stovetop and into the oven sort of guy. I love using iron. I love using carbon steel. Anybody who watches the channel gets that. And what I felt was really great was that I didn't have to manage the pot. So like I could get some things going in this thing, make it kind of start, put a lid on it and leave it. That was like amazing. So I could put 20 minutes or 15 minutes in getting this prepped, put a few things in it, get the lid on it and let her go. Nice and slow, leave it all day, come back to it later on. Things got a timer in it, it just turns off. So, you know, this is, I don't think any different or more amazing than any other slow cooker that I've ever sold. I've dealt with lots of them. What I really like about what these guys have done for me personally is the ceramic vessel. So the vessel itself can be into the carriage of the slow cooker that will cook in the slow cooker, or as I will show you in a little bit here, I cooked a apple crisp that went directly into the oven. So it didn't use the heating base of the slow cooker. I used just really nice ceramic pot, the lidded ceramic pot. It's a beautiful color. It looked fantastic. So, you know, I'm a big fan. You take a look at it. There's a link in the description to the unit if you want to take a look at it. They've got some great pricing. They've got an extra sale on their website. That's up to you. Like I said, this isn't an infomercial for them. I just think they've done a great job and I'm really happy using the one I have. But what I wanted to show you here is just how incredibly easy it is to great results, get full big meals with very little time and using this quality of a slow cooker. No different than any other slow cooker. If you slow cooked, you're gonna get this. I like this ceramic vessel. It works well. It's got no chemicals in it. It's easy to look after. It's easy to clean. So what I ended up doing here was that I cooked a yellow curry, right? And this yellow cookie that I'm showing you here, super easy, just threw the things in. I've done this many times now. I've either cooked down some of the food with the heat of the slow cooker, and then I add all my other ingredients, and then I put the lid on and leave it. Sometimes I'll just put everything in at one time and just put the lid on and leave it. It flavors a little bit different, but it works pretty much the same way. I've made this meal before on the stovetop many times. I've never been able to get the consistency, the texture to all of the ingredients to be so independent but blended together at the same time. So the flavors were uniform, but the texture didn't turn into kind of a gushy mushy. It wasn't like a curry pudding, if that makes sense. I found that using the heat on the stove top with a pot in whatever it is, stainless steel or iron, I would get quite mushy food, and even if I tried not to, that would be a result. In the slow cooker, you get a lot of texture of the food, and so the flavors are even deeper and more rich, but the texture is even better. So the experience of eating is just elevated. It's phenomenal how that works. If you slow cook, you've got this. If you haven't, this is definitely something to look at. Whatever the slow cooker you decide to do, I'm a big fan of what's happening for me here for these sorts of meals. And so then I moved on to a tomato and chickpea soup, and really simple. Everything in the pot, lid on, leave it, and left. It was the easiest, fastest thing to prep, and just made it, and it was fantastic in how it was done. Not maybe as developed as the curry. The curry just had more developable, I think, flavors in it, and there was more to it. The chickpea soup was pretty basic and simple, but it ended up being really good. I was a big fan and happy to be able to pass that on to my kids that were happy to eat it. They felt the textures were way better than the mush that sometimes I would make them in an iron pot that I just happened to, even though I'm trying to control the heat, they just overcook a little bit. So that was a big win. Then I decided I wanted to try something a little bit different. So the apple crisp, as I said before, it didn't use the cooking from the underneath. This just used the really nice ceramic pot that came with it and went into the oven. And that worked out beautifully. The vessel with the lidded vessel, nice thick ceramic, just cooked so slowly, so evenly, and the caramelization was amazing. So that was a huge win. I would say I got a 5 out of 5 for the curry, a 4 out of 5 for the chickpea soup, and a 5 out of 5 for the apple crisp. So gigantic wins across the board for the developed flavor and the texture in which I got from the slow cooker versus using a stovetop method. But what about the health effects? If we get into the nitty-gritty of slow cooking versus stovetop cooking, what's the difference? Slow cooking typically is around 75 to 100 degrees Celsius. That's what the temperature range usually of a slow cooker is. That's much lower than typical stovetop cooking. Sautéing or frying usually is around 150 to 200 degrees Celsius if you're being responsible. So why does this matter? Well, when food, especially proteins and fats, are exposed to high heat, they can create advanced glycation end products, AGCs. These are directly related to inflammation and oxidative stress in the body. Slow cookers, on the other hand, rarely reach the temperatures to create this sort of reaction. Okay, so slow cooking is not going to produce compounds to create inflammation and the effects of inflammation and chronic inflammation. But what about digestibility? So long cooking times gradually break down the fiber in plant foods and in complex carbohydrates. This is especially important for foods like beans, lentils, whole grains, and root vegetables. This slow cooking process makes it much easier for a body to digest and to absorb. So nutrient absorption. This is something that is critical when we eat all of our food. We want to take the most nutrients and benefit out of our foods, and slow cooking really helps with this. So as the food we talked about slowly cooks, the walls of these food soften, the cell walls soften, and more of the goodness is able to be absorbed. So this allows nutrients like the polyphenols and the antioxidants to be widely absorbed into your body. So with moist cooking methods, some water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C and vitamin B can actually be pulled out of the food and into the water or the soup, the stew in which it was made. So in slow cooking, where everything is contained in the same vessel, you're getting all of the nutrients from the food. Slow cooking is also much easier on oils and fats. High heat, as we've talked about on this channel many times, high heat can oxidize fats. It can degrade fat, so cooking at a lower temperature keeps the quality of those fats. So this does not mean that stovetop cooking is bad. Browning and caramelization comes from stovetop cooking that adds a ton of flavor. So while slow cookers may be well known for convenience, they may be one of the healthiest ways to cook in your kitchen. So I hope that helps. I hope that slow cooking may be something you can either reevaluate or start for the first time. Any comments, any questions, please throw them below. Thanks.